know the secondary too. They can't get away with this thing. I want one be by my suffering, be medical.
Dr. Kemi, have you seen a copy of the inconclusive result that they gave to us at the Corona?
I've seen it though. I went on Daddy Freeze with
Did you check the date? Did you see that there's a lot of discrepancies in those?
Like mad. The dates.
Exactly. Thank you so much.
The toxicology or the autopsy.
You cannot put that kind of date in America. We don't set a date. They don't set date like
the
that.
Form. You notice the format?
Yes, the format is right. See, I have a copy of NMS, confirmed copy, and we went to the NMS lab. We've given it to them.
The format is wrong.
That's why I don't understand why the team with me are not saying nothing about this.
We are going to fight.
They are not even protesting about it. They are okay with the results.
Boss man, when the talks came out, Sheko Yeke ya Mohbad sọ̀rọ̀ sí media.
Exactly. She's okay with
Sheko Yeke ya Mohbad sọ̀rọ̀ sí media. No family members spoke out except the father. So nobody else is sympathizing with Mohbad's death. Karimo did not talk out. When the autopsy came out, why were they all silent? There was no toxicology sent to America. Hey Joe, I have to go because they are calling me now.
Dr. Kemi, Dr. Kemi,
what you said, what the wife said, even gave people more evidence and more insight that she knows something about. Because how could they come with that result?
He has said it already.
And the next
I know how Mohbad died, but I'm scared to say.
The next thing was to jump on the media and start saying because the father buried him hurriedly. That's why the autopsy was.
I busted them.
The result was like that. So
let me say this quickly.
They should just go and bury the body.
Public, I've already busted them on that one. Because there would be no corners to take it. She said because they didn't put him in the mortuary. Wumi, you said that Mohbad could have done proper autopsy if they had put him in mortuary. Kemi, you're a lawyer to Wumi. You are a liar. You're a fucking liar. The police officer inside the DPO's office, he called me. Auntie Kemi, Ejo, Emma Darukomi. I get that a lot from everybody. As an investigative journalist, you must have people inside. And they will always beg you to remember not to say their name. There was a police officer inside the DPO's office when Wumi's mother called and told that DPO not to give Wumi's mother. Wumi's mother called the DPO. She influenced the DPO not to issue a police report. You cannot go to a mortuary anywhere in Nigeria without a police report. They need to know.
That's why we said, Dr. Kemi, that's why we are asking for proper phone forensic. The government doesn't want to give us that forensic.
You know what she did? She influenced the police report from her US location and told them not to give them that police report. So because there was no police report, there was also a report, a death certificate from Perez, and there was only one person holding it, Wumi, and Wumi will not give it to Mr. Aloba. Mr. Aloba said it on my interview. Money Ejo, I'm going to tell you the police report to back. If I might be dead body see. If I see house girl Waku, the woman that cleans our compound in Aja, 18 of us in a building. When she died, her dead body was inside her shack down the road and it smelled the whole neighborhood. So what did you do? Wumi did not give me the death report. If there was a death certificate or a police report, they would have put that body in the mortuary. But because they had to hide the cocktail of drugs, guys, you know what's the opposite of fast forward? Rewind, everybody. Take your brain and rewind. Owonha had not done the press conference about the drugs yet. At that time, Mohbad had just died. Rewind. They wanted to hide the cocktail of drugs they rigged him with. That's why they rushed to bury Mohbad. Aloba had no choice. He had to rush and bury his son. His mother-in-law wanted to hide the cocktail of drugs that Wumi and company rigged into his body, so they denied him a mortuary stay. Aloba took the body to a place to bury. The man I spoke to said a mini chairman estate he and he got called bury la lembi by. Bring that body in the morning, and they buried it quickly in the morning. So all the Nigerians sitting down there saying, Shebi is the one that rushed and buried him. Shebi is the one hiding something. Nigerians, wake up. He was not the one hiding anything. Nobody can keep a dead body. He was denied access to that mortuary. I'm an investigative journalist, and I investigate and I detect things like detective. Does it make sense now?
Dr. Kemi.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kemi.
Dr. Kemi, so Baba Mohbad has a case. He can sue the police for that, right?
He has to.
Yeah. Yes.
But so then they will threaten him, and then he won't be able to walk and look around his shoulders.
Exactly. Exactly.
Anything about Mohbad has to do involving the police now must even be outside the country. In Nigeria, they kill you and make you look like an accident. That's how they do it. And the distractions in the case, anybody, I will call you out seriously. If I hear from anybody in this Nigeria telling me that Mohbad father should go and do DNA test for Mohbad, they will use that to distract you. Nobody must distract this case. Mohbad's father will be Mohbad. Mohbad's mother will be Mohbad.
Yes, I agree with you. 100%. 100%, Dr. Kemi. As a call.
DNA lost inside here. The only DNA that is required right now.
Dr. Kemi.
It's your friend that said Baba Mohbad should go and do DNA with the body.
Who is my friend? Who is that one? I thought it was Karimo.
No.
That is Fizz.
Iyabo. Oh, yeah, who is the friend?
Ori Okpe Oloshi. Ori Okpe Oloshi. Mo lọ sórí NDLA Spaces now. Today is the 100th episode and I'm going to be a major speaker with Chairman Marwa. Let me do 5 minutes more with you guys. But do you understand what happened with that rushing to bury business? They wanted to hide the cocktail of drugs they rigged his body in. So they buried him, put a big stone, everything, Mohbad ti lọ. Police wá ṣe gbogbo forensics pẹ̀lú nurse. Wọ́n lè ṣe kọ́kọ́ pẹ̀lú Fẹ́yìnṣayọ̀ Ògèdèngbè. Yeah, it is so. Did you hear what the nurse's mother said? My daughter was a good person. She has a lot of information that she can damage people in that case. They're still holding her, but they can't prosecute her. Have you noticed that the DPP is not? Have you noticed that the DPP is not trying to prosecute anybody? They've released Prime Boy.
Dr. Kemi, do you know something? Is it possible for you to, if the nurse claimed that she gave injection to Mohbad, anti-tetanus, and they did not find that they did not even detect that in the results? It didn't come out.
Excuse me, Mr. Who is talking?
No, Bossman talking, please.
It's Bossman.
The question is, Bossman, can I ask you a question? Are you in the medical field?
No,
are you in the medical field?
No.
You are not even in the medical field. Why Shere? Sure, you understand Yoruba? Bossman. Yoruba niye?
I was in the campaign for governorship now.
Amen. Why they win? Why Shere? You know the reason why I ask you for in the medical field?
I was talking about way back then when you wanted to.
Hey, why you will make it? Yeah, why Shere? But you know why I asked you why are you in the medical field? Because you brought out a very important thing as a pharmacist, and you see, mama ni mo brag. Mo lati brag na. Mo joko 6-7 years pharmacy school. As a pharmacist and a clinical one, tetanus is the first thing that you show in that toxicology test.
Was in the body of Mohbad. That was
the gram.
The body Mohbad
gram right there. If anything was to show up in that place, tetanus should be there because tetanus has life.
With me saying not talking about this, and you are accepting that result they gave to you.
Mo ti sọ pé àwọn náà pa mo ti tweet ẹ. Ṣé nígbà tí mo sọ pé Wunmi ló pa Mohbad ṣé wọ́n arrest? Ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn ọmọ mi tó ń sọ tiwọn ni àwọn ọmọ mi ń sọ pé ẹ mọ́ mi.
A tún ní surface video kan tún surface again. Tí Mohbad mu kíni drink yẹn o.
Bitters.
Kíni drink tán polówó yẹn, that drink tán lọ ṣe show fún yẹn. It drank that thing. How come we did not see the result did not come out? They did not detect anything like that in the body.
Let me tell you what's the general bitters. The reason is because you see the general bitters, right? The general bitters contains alcohol, and the alcohol content of bitters in Nigeria is usually 30 to 40%, very high. When I was in Ghana, I compared to Ghanaians. Okay, the last time I went to Ghana in the last 1 year for three times in the last 1 year. But when I was in Ghana in April for the March for the games, I compared the way bitters are marketed in Ghana. Number one, in Ghana, if you're a celebrity, you can't promote bitters. No celebrity must promote that kind of alcohol. Bitters companies only advertise on billboards. When I looked at the contents of their own, it's very similar to the contents of Nigeria, 30 to 40% alcohol. Now, even though, yes, he drank the general bitters, in the 24 hours that he drank those bitters, because he was holding that red cup on top of the car, on the 24 hours, alcohol will technically have been metabolized off. Sure you get. What we're looking at is things like procaine G, tetanus, ceftriaxone and all that. Okay, things that cannot be metabolized easily or things that have long half-lives. I mean, on Daddy Freeze show, everybody, the pharmacologist, this freeze wa be mi ni wo nurse ti freeze gbe wọlé tó ń sọ kù sọ wọ́n tẹ̀ ní kò ń ṣe nurse pé she's a nursing assistant and by me what do we study? People think pharmacists just go to school and study chemistry. We have something called pharmaceutics, the component of drugs and how they're going to react with the body. Then we have pharmacotherapeutics, how drug A is going to act on the liver versus the kidney. You know, the way I illustrate it is like, if you have a drug in the system, that drug will look at the kidney and say, hello, I'm here. Are you the one that's metabolizing me today, or is the liver? That's pharmacotherapeutics. We have pharmacokinetics, the actual way and time the drug enters and starts working. You have a headache, you use paracetamol. You take one. Will your headache be cured by 1 or 2? Depends. That's pharmacokinetics. We have pharmacognosy, the study of drugs from the herbal roots. This is why I got into a fight with Niger Pharma, because he was giving people medical advice without a doctor or a pharmacist nearby, telling them to eat bitter cola for malaria. What if that person is on high blood pressure medications? Bitter cola contains a lot of caffeine, you know, and their heart will start fluttering and palpitation. Next thing you know, they have a heart attack. 300,000 Nigerians are dying from these things. So there's pharmacognosy, pharmacotherapeutics, pharmaceutics, you know, I was studying it. How much can you not study? Pharmacology. That's all the nurses are required. Pharmacology. That is it. But every pharmacy does not end up where I am. The BS in pharmacy was eradicated because they figured that we don't need it, and every pharmacist has to know clinical. And that's why in 1988 we were the last set of BS pharmacy. There's no BS pharmacy degree again in America and Canada. And I went to the oldest pharmacy school in the United States, Philadelphia College of Pharmacy. So you can't come here and say you are arguing with me.
Yes, Dr. Kemi.
A380 pilot.
One more question.
Bossman, A380 pilot. Argue.
Yeah. Dr. Kemi, one more question for you, man.
For Airbus. Plane to that be late.
Dr. Kemi, let me ask you a question, please, man.
Ask that question.
For the body of Mohbad right now, if we get a forensic pathologist, they can fly them down to Nigeria, they should be able to detect any fair play or any play or tricks that they play on that body. They should be able to do proper forensic on that body. Am I right or wrong?
You're right. You're right. And that's why I want another autopsy, because I need externals. I need what is on his body externally. That autopsy said tattoos. I don't want to see tattoos. You said unembalmed body and tattoos. But you can contradict around left, right, and center. And you call it embalm. Next thing, you embalm. She Baba Mohbad will do Baba Mohbad funny. Baba Mohbad and to be in your support real more want to shave your ring, want to embalm. They want to put on embalmed body. Contradictions to put on autopsy.
Dr. Kemi,
sorry, please. And it also stated that superficial wound with a 1.6 centimeter depth.
That's the stab wound, I beg.
Thank you, ma'am. Let me educate.
That is the stab wound. But my dear, is that Naimoli? Naimoli, were you the one that just spoke about the superficial wound?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
My dear, let me ask you a question. Does your average Nigerian in the motor park listening to Mohbad, the tout out there, and Kesari and Co, do they know the meaning of superficial wound?
Doubts they do, they don't.
Exactly. So, I want someone at gbogbo wọn ní Lagos State. Wọ́n wá brainwash gbogbo public nítorí gbogbo medical. Wọ́n mọ̀ power wà ńbẹ̀. In today, 59.9 years old, tí mo jẹ́, I cannot read or write Yoruba because the government